The weight of a dream unfulfilled can be heavier than any stone. For Daniel Hart, that weight was the city he never built, the blueprints that gathered dust in his mind. Every morning he'd walk the same quiet streets, his eyes tracing the lines of buildings, not with admiration, but with a quiet, hollow ache. He was a good man, with a steady job and a simple life, but a ghost walked with him, the ghost of the architect he was meant to be. He'd spend his evenings sketching, filling notebooks with soaring towers and graceful bridges, each line a whisper of what could have been. His family had needed him, so he'd chosen a different path, a safer one. But the passion, the fire to create, never truly died. It just smoldered beneath the surface, a constant, gentle heat of regret that warmed his lonely hours. He believed his chance had passed, that his hands, now accustomed to spreadsheets and reports, had forgotten the language of design. One crisp autumn afternoon, seeking solace from his thoughts, Daniel found himself by a serene, mist-covered lake on the edge of town. He sat on a weathered bench, skipping stones across the glassy surface. One skip, 2, 3, then sank, just like his dreams, he thought. It was then that a quiet voice spoke beside him. It's not about how many times they skip, but the ripples they leave behind. Daniel turned to see an old man with eyes that held the calm wisdom of the lake itself. He had a kind smile and hands wrinkled like ancient maps. They sat in comfortable silence for a while before the old man, whose name was Arthur, spoke again. You carry something heavy, son. I can see it in the way you watch the water. Hesitantly, Daniel found himself sharing his story, the tale of the architect he left behind. Arthur listened patiently, his gaze fixed on the horizon. When Daniel finished, Arthur didn't offer platitudes or easy answers. Instead, he pointed to a gnarled, ancient oak tree by the water's edge. That tree, he said, didn't grow straight and perfect. It was bent by the wind, struck by lightning, and starved for sun in its youth. But it never stopped reaching for the sky. Its twists and turns are what give it character, what make it beautiful. Arthur continued, his voice as gentle as the lapping waves. Regret is a cage you build for yourself, bar by bar. You so focused on the door that closed that you can't see all the windows that are open. He picked up a smooth gray stone. This stone has been sitting here for 1,000 years. Does it regret not being part of a mountain? No, it is simply here now. Your past is your foundation, not your prison. You can start building on it today. The old man's words were simple, yet they resonated deep within Daniel's soul. The ripples, the crooked tree, the stone. For the first time in years, the suffocating weight on his chest began to lift. He realized he hadn't lost his dream. He had just put it on his shelf. He could take it down any time he wanted. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Daniel thanked Arthur, a genuine smile gracing his lips, for what felt like the first time in an eternity. That night, Daniel didn't just sketch. He designed. The fear and hesitation were gone, replaced by a surge of purpose he hadn't felt since he was a young man. He pulled out his old textbooks, his forgotten tools. The fire within him roared back to life, no longer a smoldering ember but a vibrant, creative flame. He started small, redesigning his own garden, then helping a neighbor with a new porch. Each small project was a brick laid in the foundation of his new life. His passion was infectious. Soon the whole town was buzzing about Daniel's talent. When the town council announced a plan to build a new community library, Daniel knew this was his moment. He spent weeks pouring his heart and soul into a design not of a grand, imposing structure, but of a warm, inviting space inspired by Arthur's crooked oak tree, a place with nooks for reading, wide windows to let in the light, and a central staircase that twisted elegantly towards the sky. He presented his design to a skeptical town council, but his passion and the sheer beauty of his vision won them over. Building the library became a community effort, with neighbors volunteering their time and resources. Daniel was there every day, not as a distant architect, but as a builder, a friend, a leader, his hands finally shaping the world he had only ever dreamed of. When the library finally opened, it was more than just a building. It was a testament to a dream reborn. Arthur was there at the opening ceremony, his eyes twinkling. He placed a hand on Daniel's shoulder and whispered, "See? What beautiful ripples you've made." Daniel looked at the children reading in sunlit corners. The community gathered together, and he understood. His life wasn't a story of regret. It was a story of a crooked path that led him exactly where he needed to be. His masterpiece wasn't just the library. It was the life he had finally chosen to build.